welcome to Russ's Movie Corner. My name is Russ, and as you can see, I'm sitting in front of my movie wall. I got my Last Jedi t-shirt on, and we're still working on this video right here. And so this is my second part of my rebuttal of this Disney Doesn't Understand Lightsabers. Now, when we left off from this video last time, I went a little long. I think I went about 40 minutes or so on that video, and so I just kind of want to, because I just feel like I had a few things to talk about towards the end there. So when last we left off, we were kind of talking about where this guy was kind of mentioning that, it's like, oh, Kylo Ren was a fully trained Darksider. No, he's not. Okay? So we need to establish something here. The only Jedi in the galaxy right now, as of right now, is Luke Skywalker. People need to understand that. But Return of the Jedi, okay, Yoda said to Luke, the last of the Jedi you will be. There are no others. They were all killed by Kylo Ren as Luke was trying to train them. Okay? And that's fully explored in this film. People don't understand that. Especially this guy. He does not understand where this thing is coming from. So, let's get back into this video. I'm going to kind of go for a little bit on this, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. And then probably what I'm going to do is when we get to the part where we get to the throne room, I'm probably going to cut it because I feel like I need to kind of do that as its own episode because I need to be able to talk about some things with that. So let's jump back into this thing here and
Lightsaber in Kylo's place, and it's ridiculous that Finn isn't beaten instantly. But we'll ignore that for a second. I'd been on board for most of this movie, but the first real sign I had that this was a Disney movie was this. I'm sorry, that's not real.
So, I don't know. It seems like this guy's never seen a Star Wars film. Ever. Because, yeah, in Episode 4, when Ponda Baba gets his arm chopped, there's a little tiny smattering of blood. There's a little bit when Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half, there's a little bit of a red mist at the bottom of the screen. But for the most part, like when Luke's hand gets lopped off, there was no blood. The hell was this guy thinking? Lightsabers don't cause blood. That, again, they might cause a little bit, but the blade is so hot that it instantly cauterizes the wound. Again, has this guy seen a Star Wars film? Okay? And we'll get more into this as we go along. Let's just...
It was more like this. A lightsaber just went straight.
Okay, so I'm going to back this up just a bit here. Let me see here.
More like this. A lightsaber.
Okay, so I want to kind of pause this here. There's a thing called depth of cut. Okay. Now, when you see most of the limbs going off, what's the way the lightsaber's traveling? Okay, so look at my arm. Which way is the lightsaber traveling? Is it traveling like this, or is it traveling like this? 90% of the time, it's traveling perpendicular to whatever's being chopped. Okay? Now, let's also think back to Star Wars Episode 2. When Obi-Wan is fighting Dooku in the hangar after Anakin tries to attack him and he picks him up with the Force lightning and throws him into the wall. So then he and Obi-Wan start fighting, and Dooku, like chops his lightsaber, smacks him in the shoulder, and smacks him in the leg to take him out of the fight. Okay? So, again, has this guy seen a film, a Star Wars film before? Ever in his life? Because I don't think he has. I honestly think he's probably one of those guys that, like, sat around in his basement as a kid. A friend brought a Star Wars movie over. He watched it and was like, whoa, that was pretty cool, man. And then he didn't see one for like 10 years. And then he comes in and he sits down and he's like, you know, and then it's like he comes back and he watches this film and he's like, well, but that's not what I remember seeing in a Star Wars film. And so he makes this stupid ass video and you're like, dude, what? Have you ever seen a Star Wars film before? Ever in your life? Well, maybe one. I don't know. What's Star Wars? Because he doesn't really understand what's going on. Now, you look at this, again, depth of cut. Okay? Anyone who's worked with wood will tell you. Depth of cut is everything in woodworking. Okay? So if you have a regular chop saw, okay, or like a bandsaw, where you actually reach forward, you grab it, and you pull it forward through wood. You can notch wood, because you can raise the blade up, and you can notch wood, or you can lower it down and cut all the way through the wood. Okay? So, this, right here, okay, I didn't get this before when I was filming this, but this right here, that's not a fatal cut, you idiot. Okay? It might score a couple ribs. It might sever some nerve endings a little bit. But this isn't a killing blow, you moron. Oh my God, are you that stupid? Come on, man. Think about this for a minute. This is not a fatal cut. You even slowed it down. You should have seen this. This isn't fatal. Not at all. Okay? Stop. Yes, he took a lightsaber up the back. Now, here's another thing. He's going to mention this in a few minutes. Oh, he's up and walking. It's magic. Yeah. So let's think about this. Star Wars Episode 5. Luke Skywalker takes a Wampa claw to the face. Okay? Wakes up in the cave. You know, he escapes by chomping off the Wookiee's arm, or the Wampa's arm. He almost freezes to death when Han Solo goes out to find him. Okay? And Han Solo finds him, and he's like, you know, okay, Luke, you know, and he cuts open the tauntaun, and he, you know, sticks Luke inside, because he's like, you know, hey, man, you know, I'm going to save you. And he builds a shelter for the night, and he does all that stuff, and then he takes Luke back, you know, the air speeders find him, and he takes Luke back to the, you know, to the med center. And what does Luke spend a little bit of his time in? It's called a Bacta tank. Bacta is a type of bacteria, okay, that, like, aids in the healing process. Now, I know you're not into reading because you've never read a book in your life, it seems like, okay, but here's the funny thing, okay, here's the interesting thing that I want you to understand. The problem is that when you look at a film like this, okay, it's always a good idea to read the novelization. And I say that because when you read the novelization, you end up understanding more about the characters' motivations, about why people do things, about how things work, okay? Because Finn the little bag that he's wearing that's full of liquid, that's Bacta. Okay? It's clearly explained what it is. And any fan of Star Wars knows what that is. That's why that wound, quote, magically heals. Okay? Because in fantastic worlds of science fiction, fantastic medicine magically works. That's it. That's the whole explanation, man. Okay? I mean, think about Star Trek. Hell, they did a full fucking spine replacement in The Next Generation. Okay? Worf had a thing drop on him, and it, like, broke his spine, and they had to go in, and they had to, like, remove his old spine and give him a new one. And they literally 3D printed a spine for him, and then they spent, some time doing microsurgery to get all the nerves and the spinal column and everything so that it would go into his body, and he ended up being able to walk the rest of his fucking life. Okay? So, yeah, how many times in Star Trek did they bring people back from the dead? Did they do all this other crap? I mean, at least Star Wars has the guts and the balls to just kill off characters and just say, you know what? We're done. Okay? Star Trek, as far to my knowledge, did it once. Well, twice. Okay? They did it once at Next Gen, they did it once at DS9. And that was because, I mean, the thing is that in the first season of Star Trek, The Next Generation, Denise Crosby felt like her character was going nowhere, so she asked to be killed off. And it was the same way with Jadzia Dax. Jadzia Dax was kind of like, you know what? I really need to just kind of say here that I'm done. I've been in here for 5 years, 6 years, and I want to be done. And so they went out, they found a new actress, and they killed off Jadzia. Okay? So that, as far to my knowledge, is the only way that they ever permanently killed off characters. Okay? In Star Trek. And to my knowledge. Okay? Now, I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not one of those people that have read every single book and read every single comic book and read every single thing. And I've only ever seen the shows, okay? And I haven't seen every single show to know that they just, were massively killing off characters. As far as I know, 90% of the characters in every single show survive all the way through to the end. And in some cases, they neglected certain characters to favor others. Like, for instance, why write two characters with love interests when you can have one couple as a love interest? And poor Harry Kim stayed an ensign for 7 frickin' years, even though Tom Paris was promoted, demoted, promoted, demoted, promoted. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. And people were like, well, she's the captain. Yeah, she's the fucking captain. She can give out a goddamn battlefield promotion, you dumbass. Shit. Fucking Navy. I mean, God. Captains can give out battlefield promotions. Okay? They can. It's fucking pathetic to think that, it's like for 7 fucking years this guy saves the Voyager time and time again and he doesn't even make it past ensign? Come on. That's just lazy-ass writing, okay? You want to talk about lazy-ass writing? I love Voyager, don't get me wrong. Voyager's one of my favorite series, but that boils my ass. That and the finale, man, it's just lazy-ass writing. Those two things. And then they had this one one episode called The Disease, where the Enterprise meets up with this colony ship, and Harry Kim starts falling in love with this chick. And they had the opportunity to give, because at this time, at that point in the series, they had already kind of established the relationship between B'Elanna and Tom. And they could have totally made a second love relationship with Harry Kim and this alien chick, and they could have had that been explored as this sort of multi-species love story, and they didn't have to last the whole frickin' time, but at least they could have explored it. But no! One shot, done. Sorry, Harry Kim, you don't get a fucking relationship. And they don't even bring her back at all. Like, they don't even have them run into them again, ever. Like, what happened to them? We don't know. Okay? Now, I don't know if they explored anything in the books or if they did anything that way. I don't know. But that's my thing. You want to talk about lazy writing? That's lazy writing. This is not lazy writing. Okay? This is people who understand Star Wars and are giving you a movie that you can get behind. The problem is, you don't know the lore. You don't know this stuff. This depth of cut that we see right here, okay, that's not a killing blow. You dumbass. And again, they have things that can get them back to normal. Duh. Come on, man. Lore. Everything that has transpired in The Force Awakens and in The Last Jedi can be explained within the context of the lore and the actions of the characters. Everything. Okay? It can. The problem is, no one wants to accept that explanation, because to accept that explanation means that they have to accept that the writers knew what they were talking about. And they don't want to accept that. In fact, hell, they didn't even want to accept it for 20 years under the prequels. The prequels were excellent fucking films. And people were like, oh, these are the worst movies ever. For 20 fucking years we heard this. And now, 20 odd years on, I mean, we're 2019, folks. It's been 20 years since The Phantom Menace. 20 fucking years. We've been listening to this shit. And now, in 2018, 2017 to 2018, now we start hearing people going, all these prequel haters, all these guys that just sat there and shat on the original trilogy, or the prequel trilogy, okay, are now going, well, I don't think the prequels are all that bad now. I think the prequels are actually pretty good. Oh, we've only been telling you that for 20 fucking years. You didn't listen then, but you're damn sure gonna listen fucking now. I've had it with you people. Okay? Shut the fuck up. It's done. Everything can be explained. Again, look at this picture. This is not a killing blow. It's not. Barely even going up the fat of his back, you assholes. Okay? And if he's a stormtrooper, he's got a lot of muscle in there too. Okay? Because he's been working out. Because that's what troopers do. Okay? To be able to heft all those like big old batons and big old things. Okay? They have to be able to work out. They have to have muscle. Okay? So yeah, this is not a killing blow. This guy doesn't understand lightsabers. Should be Robot Head doesn't understand lightsabers. And we're back. Sorry about that. My OBS took a dump here. So, as we were trying to say here, is that this, and the depth of the cut here, is not as deep as this guy thinks it is. So this guy somewhere along the way got the idea that a parallel cut that's not very deep on somebody is the same thing as lop. So he's not thinking, he's thinking this way, oh, it's just as deadly as this way. Why was he not cut in half? Well, because depth of cut, dude. Again, that's not a very deep cut. Alright, moving on.
Just went straight up the middle of his body, and
Tis but a scratch. A scratch?
we have seen limbs flying off since 1977, but now you can be hit with one, somehow knocked out.
Well, so he goes, we've seen things being lopped off since 1977. Yeah, that's not the same thing. Again, dude. Perpendicular, parallel. perpendicular, parallel. Did you ever study maths? Because I don't think you did. Because if you did study maths, you would have studied something called geometry. And geometry would have taught you that parallel is different than perpendicular. Okay? Come on, man. Seriously. Think about this for a minute. Okay? Think about this for a minute. This? No. That's not a killing blow. That's the point. My God. I don't think you've seen a Star Wars film since 1977.
Question mark. And not be split in two. They actually filmed a scene where Poe had sewn up his jacket. That was the damage that was done. Look at Finn. He's fine.
Yeah. The reason why Poe sewed up his jacket was because he wanted Finn, because remember when Finn, he was like, Finn, you're alive. Hey, that's my jacket. And he's like, oh, here. And he starts taking it. He goes, no, you keep it, man. It looks better on you. Okay? When he came back to the resistance base on Dakar and he was injured, and they stripped his jacket off to put him in the Bacta suit, okay, to get him to, heal. Again, have you seen a Star Wars film? I don't think you have. He took his jacket and sewed it up in friendship so that when he came back, he goes, here, man, here's your jacket back. And I sewed up the rip in the back where Kylo hit you with the lightsaber. And Finn's like, thanks, man. Again, read the novelization, you fucking retard. My God, man. It almost seems to me like you've just never seen a Star Wars film in your life. Ugh.
Now it's Ray's turn. I've already been through how stupid this scene is in my Star Wars Strong Women Lie. Check it out. Ryan gave it 5 stars. It's a great video. I highly recommend it. I keep hearing that she grew up defending herself with a staff, a two-handed weapon you can rest against your body without dying. She'd never even turned on a lightsaber before. Plus, these guys have all harnessed the power of the Force. They have all trained with masters.
Actually, Kylo Ren hasn't really trained with a master. Sorry, it's another thing you missed. See, this is what I don't understand. He's like, oh, they've all trained with masters. Who did Luke train with again? Let me see. He spent a little tiny bit of time with Obi-Wan Kenobi. He spent maybe a month, maybe, not even, probably only about a week or 2 with Yoda. Yeah, that's why he got his ass handed to him on Cloud City. Yup, fucking idiot. Because he ran away. That's the point. It's always been the point. Kylo Ren did the same exact thing. He hadn't been trained with a master. Luke wasn't a master yet. He was still a Jedi Knight, and he was trying to be a master. He was trying to train new students when Ben betrayed him. Okay? Because Snoke was reaching out through the Force. And Snoke hadn't fully trained Kylo Ren yet, you moron. If you'd watched The Force Awakens, you'd have known that. Because he says, bring Kylo Ren to me. It's time to complete his training. Oh, complete his training. Oh, that means they haven't even stopped. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even fully trained him yet. Probably because he didn't know everything. My God, man. Seriously, have you seen a Star Wars film? Yes, the original Jedi Okay, in the Old Republic era, Rise of the Empire, that's episode 1, 2, and 3. Okay, yes. Kylo, those people did train. Kylo Ren is not training with a master. He's training with a dark side user. He's a guy, he's powerful, he's strong in the Force, but he's not Emperor Palpatine strong, guys. He's nowhere near that. It's why he couldn't feel the lightsaber moving next to him. My God, have you ever seen a Star Wars film? Ever! I don't think you have. Oh, and your stupid-ass video? Oh, my Strong Women Live video. Ryan gave it 5 stars. It's the best video ever. Yeah. Only a YouTube content creator calls his video the best ever. Okay? It's almost like your mom patted you on the head. Oh, you're doing well, son. Keep it up. Oh, it's the best video ever. My mom said so. I'm sorry, dude. It's not. If you're this far off, you're this far off the lore, you're not a good YouTube content creator. You suck at YouTube videos. Okay? If you're this far off, sorry, this is not Disney Doesn't Understand Lightsabers. This is Robot Head Doesn't Understand Star Wars at all. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to call this little set of videos, is I'm going to say it's Robot Head Doesn't Understand jack shit. Because he doesn't understand jack shit. Okay? So, let me see something here. Okay. So, the thing is, yes, if we consult the Star Wars The Force Awakens Visual Dictionary, okay, we see that if we look over here at Rey, page 30, okay, get back to Kylo Ren in a minute. Actually, look at page 32. It says, Rey has learned self-defense as a matter of necessity. With her battered but durable staff, she has perfected thrusting, swinging, and striking techniques to keep away unruly thugs. A tough life. Rey's skills as a scavenger have earned the respect of many junk traders, particularly Unkar Plutt, who orders his thugs not to steal her wares as she is much more valuable as a continued source of salvage. When Rey oversteps this fragile alliance by reneging on a trade with Unkar Plutt, the temperamental junk boss orders that she be taught a violent lesson. This is far from the only betrayal she has suffered. The harsh conditions on Jakku have taught Rey that good fortune often invites trouble and bullies only fear strength. Okay? And so she literally built she literally found a quarterstaff amongst the junk, okay? and she builds it. Now, down here on page 33, down in this little corner right here, there's a little thing called data file, and it says, though Rey has heard fragments of legends of the Jedi, she is surprised to learn that they were ever real. Rey's fighting skill with her staff translates well into other short-ranged melee weapons, including those she has never wielded before. And it shows a picture of the lightsaber. Oh. A canonical source proving that Rey can wield a lightsaber without cutting herself in half, because she's trained her whole life using a staff. Now, if you've ever read a book in your life, there's a book called Before the Awakening, and it talks about Rey, Finn, and Poe, and I've talked about it a lot on this channel in defense of The Last Jedi. Okay? And it's funny because you need to read this book, because it actually talks about the first time that she was out junk trading. She got back, she had a big haul, and she was just a small teenager at the time, and she was walking along, and these thugs came and beat her up, took all of her stuff. And she was pissed at herself for allowing them to take advantage of her like that. So, the next day, she went out and salvaged a staff. As you can see right here, a quarterstaff. Okay? And then she started learning how to use it. And in her off times, when she was out in the junk and out in the starships and she was away from prying eyes, she was training herself on how to use it, because she never wanted to be taken advantage of again. And the same thugs, she came back again, the same thugs tried to take stuff from her, and she beat the shit out of them. And she was like, hey, this is what I have to do. Kylo Ren, on the other hand, is not a stormtrooper. Okay? He's a Force user. The only training he's had in saber techniques has been from Luke when he was at the Jedi Academy. Okay? When he was training with Luke before he became Kylo Ren, he doesn't know how to use a lightsaber. Let's consult this guide again. Okay? Let's go back a couple pages. Kylo Ren, Dark Warrior, page 26 and 27, if you'd like to follow along in the Force Awakens Visual Dictionary. So this is what it looks like, folks. This is the Force Awakens Visual Dictionary. Okay? And it says, Kylo, having studied Jedi skills as well as arcane dark side lore, Kylo Ren is the embodiment of conflict, drawing upon contradictory teachings and deriving power from discord. Ren has taken pains to bury his past, though he uses the unpleasant emotions that stir within him when reflecting upon his youth to fuel his anger and dark powers. Through his veins courses the bloodline of the most powerful Jedi and Sith, Ren sees it as his birthright to rule weaker beings in the galaxy. As his power rises, it eclipses his past life, leaving the young man further isolated. Kylo Ren aspires to build immunity to the light side, and to succeed where Darth Vader and his sentimentality once failed. Says Kylo Ren is the most gifted apprentice of Supreme Leader Snoke, a mysterious figure steeped in dark side knowledge who commands the First Order from a distance. Lightsaber combat. Listen. The lightsaber skills of Kylo Ren are, ironically, responsible for that elegant weapon and its combat forms remaining unknown to the galaxy at large. Kylo Ren betrayed the other Jedi students studying with Master Luke Skywalker and is responsible for their destruction. He has well earned the nickname Jedi Killer, whispered in the First Order ranks, as it was his deadly lightsaber skills that prevented the return of the Jedi Order. Kylo's lightsaber. Kylo Ren's unusual lightsaber is an ancient design, dating back thousands of years to the Great Scourge of Malachor. The crossguard blades, or quillons, are tributaries of the primary central blade, all spawning from a cracked kyber crystal that is the cause of their ragged, unstable appearance. An array of focusing crystal activators split the plasma stream into perpendicular blades' energy channels, creating the quillions. The emitter shrouds on the crossguard protect the bearer's hand from smaller blades. The dark side. The dark side flows through Kylo Ren, making him an almost unstoppable force on the field of battle. His reflexes and telekinetic defenses are immense. He is able to stop an incoming blaster bolt in midair and hold it in place for several seconds before releasing it. He is also a master of telepathic intrusion, using the ability to coerce or torment his prisoners into revealing secret information. Now again, just like we said before, there's a little thing right up here on the top called data file. It's right there. Okay? The data file says, though Kylo's weapon evokes an ancient feel, its components are modern. Its crude appearance suggests construction by an inexperienced hand. Hence, he's never built a lightsaber before. Okay? So his lightsaber is literally like the first one he's ever built. Okay? The stressed crystal barely contains the power of this weapon, necessitating lateral plasma vents that become the crossguard quillions, which means he's essentially forced the crystal into place. Okay? Now, to put this to bed once and for all. Okay? 28. Wait a minute. You were saying that Finn's wounds magically healed. Well, okay. Explain this droid then. Because it didn't completely heal his scar, it just stitched it up. It says delicate multiceps for injury treatment. Medical droid. An IT S00.2 medical droid tends to the lightsaber slashes Kylo suffered across his chest and face, and the bowcaster wound into his abdomen. Although they are sealed with mechanosutures, bactotherapy is applied too late to prevent scarring. Bactotherapy. Oh wait, didn't I just already say that? Oh my fucking god, I did. Almost as if I know what I'm talking about, and this guy has no clue. Wait a minute. There is one thing on Finn in here. Let me look. Oh, wait a minute. Synthetic bacta circulation infiltration tubing. Recovering warrior. In the rush to leave Dakar, medics put Finn into an emergency suit filled with healing bacta and deliver him to a temporary medical suite aboard the Resistance flagship Radis. Finn dozes through the jump to hyperspace, unaware of the relentless First Order pursuit. When he does awaken, his first word is a shouted "Ray!" for in his disoriented state, he believes himself to be in the forests of Starkiller Base. Finn groggily staggers out of the medical suite, leaking synthetic bacta, looking for answers in general, and Rey in particular. Oh shit! So, this suit, right here, is a suit filled with bacta! Again! Oh my gosh! I already said that! Wow! Almost as if they planned it that way. So, now we're going to go to one last part here. Let me see here. Supreme Leader Snoke. This is on page 34 and 35 of the Last Jedi Visual Dictionary, if you'd like to follow along. Though his name is known to the galaxy and his reputation as the Supreme Leader of the First Order precedes him, few have ever seen Snoke in the flesh. He obscures himself with distance, being forever unreachable save for a select few who can contact him directly. Even under such circumstances, Snoke disguises his true nature. Whatever frailties have broken his body are dwarfed by the immense size at which he typically projects his form. Heart of Darkness. Snoke is powerful in the dark side of the Force, but he is no Sith. That 1,000-year lineage, stretching from Darth Bane to the last Sith Lord Darth Vader, was undone when Vader died, destroying his mentor, Darth Sidious. The fulfillment of ancient prophecy foretold the end of the Sith, but it never predicted the end of darkness. Hence, Kylo Ren is not a Dark Lord of the Sith, you idiot! He's not a Darth Tyrannus. He's not Count Dooku. He's not this guy, okay? That we see on the screen right here. He's not this guy. He's not Darth Sidious. He's just a dark side user. Let me see here. Where was it? Supreme Leader Snoke's first line of defense is his reclusiveness. His reputation looms large over First Order territories, but he rarely makes public appearances, preferring instead to transmit his image across light years as a hologram. Very few ever see him in the flesh, and those that are afforded an audience with the Supreme Leader are kept within lethal distance of his ever-vigilant Praetorians. Snoke's force abilities are strong, but his body is broken, his strides staggered, and his muscles weak. He relies instead on the combat prowess of his Crimson Protectors. Hence, he doesn't have a lightsaber. Okay? This is the Praetorian Guard now. This is page 36 and 37 of the Visual Dictionary. Okay? So it says, the Praetorian Guard are a bold example of imperial symbol reimagined, distorted, aggrandized by the First Order. These elite sentinels stand watch over Supreme Leader Snoke's throne room aboard his flagship. Their brilliant red uniforms are a deliberate echo of those worn by Emperor Palpatine's royal guard, but the pageantry of the robes has been swept aside to allow an unhindered view of precision-machined combat armor. The Praetorians are the ultimate close-circle guard, eschewing ranged weaponry. They are the last line of defense, protecting Snoke. Not Ren, Snoke. Ready to destroy any threat that would dare penetrate so deeply into the First Order's heart. So, it says, once this energy-intensive field activates, so, okay, it says, the layered armor of the Praetorian Guard is a high-tech onion skin of laminate impregnated with conductive wire paths that, once powered, create an intense local magnetic field. Once this energy-intensive field activates, the powered plates can deflect blaster fire. Even a lightsaber will glance off, though a directed thrust will penetrate the shell. The mag cuffs are costly, the plates heavy, and the mag field exposure is ultimately painful to the wearer. But such are the sacrifices of protecting the Supreme Leader. The Praetorians endure this out of unswerving loyalty and duty. So there you have it. Okay? We have once and for all put to bed this notion of, oh, well, Snoke's a Sith, so he should just... No, he's not. Neither is Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is not a proper Force user. Okay? He's not as strong as Darth Maul was. Okay? Darth Maul would have picked him apart in a fight. In fact, you put any Jedi or Sith up against Kylo Ren in that forest battle, and Kylo Ren is dead. Done. Over. You put any Jedi Knight in there. Okay? You put Yoda in that fight, he's gone in 2 seconds. I'm dead serious. Okay? So let's continue on with this. We'll get to the point where we get to the throne room battle, and then we'll call this an episode.
On a different stratosphere. She has fought off vagrants. And you don't go from this to this. Bang. Oh, he's fucked.
Well, actually, you do. Okay? Because when Rey started, yeah, she looked like that first guy in the first thing. You know, she was like, whoa, you know. But she got better. That's how she was able to best Kylo Ren, you dumbass. My God, you almost think that every single, like, Jedi in the galaxy is Bruce Lee. And, like, oh, Ren and Kylo are just these, you know, people that don't know how to use lightsabers. Well, Ren used the lightsaber at Luke's academy. Okay? Rey's used the staff. They have some weapons training, you dumb shit. Okay? Even Finn, who was a stormtrooper, had training in melee combat. He's not a melee grand master, but he's had some hand-to-hand combat training, you dumb shit. Seriously, it's called common sense. Do I need to pull out my visual dictionary and show you the page where it says that he was a stormtrooper and trained in all types of combat, martial and ranged? Fine. Here we go. 2187. Reluctant Warrior, while FN 2187, also known as Finn, performs at the top of his combat classes, the ever-present First Order propaganda never really takes hold in his heart. FN 2187's motives to excel are personal, not political. He is more concerned with protecting his squad mates than bringing order to the galaxy. He has a friendly, charming personality that conceals just how unprepared he is for life outside the First Order. Used to relying on his fellow troopers, FN 2187 finds himself instinctively pairing with and trusting strangers rather easily. FN 2187 vivid combat simulations do not prepare him for such horrible scenes as the cold-blooded massacre of innocent civilians. Okay. FN 2187's unit under the direct command of Captain Phasma, who monitors his performance closely. As part of his training rotation, FN 2187 also logged many hours on sanitation detail. Dirty work that nonetheless needed doing. So, there you go. So Finn has had a lot of training, and he was one of the best. It's one of the reasons why they counted him as being, like, extremely upsetting to them, because when he was lost, because, I mean, you don't want to lose valuable troopers because you spend a lot of time training them. Okay? So let's finish this up.
That head is gone. Wait, what the fuck? A scratch?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Again. Oh. Depth of cut! Depth of cut. Do you know what that is? Okay, you need to go and learn some woodworking skills, my friend, because you don't know anything. I'm not even going to touch this. Again, just like before, when we saw the lightsaber going up Finn's back, it's not a lethal cut. They're not going for killing strikes.
Rich, are you serious? 2 people in 5 minutes hit with a lightsaber and no loss of organs.
So, I mean, this guy almost thinks that every single like attack that happens with a lightsaber is instantly fatal. It's not. Why did... Okay, here's a question for all of you Star Wars purists out there. Okay? Answer me this question, and then you'll have the answer to this guy's query of why didn't his head go off. What was the difference between Episode 3, Anakin Skywalker holding Count Dooku, his head, between 2 crossed lightsabers, and that? You answer me that question, you'll be able to pick this guy apart in 2 seconds. You got it yet? That's it. It's depth of cut. Literally. Okay? He literally, Anakin had 2 lightsabers crossed like this, and he goes whoosh. Okay? To sever Dooku's head. And if you remember, he had him like halfway down his head. It wasn't like he had him, like just on the edges, and then he just cut his, just cut his throat. No, he had him like this, and he went whoosh, wallop goes the head. The difference, number 1, perpendicular versus parallel. Something this guy never knows. I don't think he studied a math course in his life. Okay? Not judging by this. The other thing is lop versus cut. This guy can't tell the difference. Okay? This guy can't. He's seen one too many regular fights, and then he looks at a lightsaber and he goes, well, it should do the same thing. No, it doesn't. Okay? You're stupid. I'm sorry. You are, robot head. You have a dumb, stupid-looking profile pic. You have a dumb, stupid avatar. And you're just stupid when it comes to Star Wars lore.
Kylo's helmet is cool. This should have fucked him up so bad that he needed to keep that helmet on to stay alive. You know, like his grandfather. Sorry, Reylo fans.
You freaks.
So now lightsabers can hit you, but do very little or mysterious injuries. So they're not as lethal. But wait, Kathleen Kennedy thinks Rogue One is boring. So quick, Force! Yes, thank you, I did a Force joke. Force a lightsaber scene into Rogue One. Okay, we are back to lightsabers slaughtering people again. Cool, I like it. Okay, this shows they don't understand Luke more than they don't understand lightsabers. We'll move on. This is training. Looks like a child playing in the backyard.
So, this guy's like, this is training. He looks like a child playing in the backyard. Well, actually, Star Wars kid. Okay. What did he have? Oh, that's right, a staff. And who else had a double-bladed lightsaber? Let's think back. Who had it? Darth Maul. Yeah. And he never cut himself in half. No, Obi-Wan cut him in half, but he never cut himself in half, you fucking asshole. So why does it follow that Rey has to cut herself in half? Because she's been staff fighting, and she can't modify it for a one-bladed lightsaber, okay? Yet Darth Maul, who's been using a double-bladed lightsaber his entire life, can instantly use one as if it were an extension of himself. And that's okay. You're stupid. You're an idiot. You don't understand anything. You can't have it both ways. You can't. It's just like the fight between, the people that were like, oh, I think it was kind of cool that Leia got space and that she used the Force to bring herself back to the ship. And then those people that go, she used the Force to bring herself back to the ship. How the fuck could she do that? Is she a fucking Skywalker or not? You can't have it both ways. You can't say she's the daughter of Skywalker and not have her use the Force at some point. You fucking retards. I'm pissed off about this shit. This is the same fucking thing. You can't have a person who uses a double-bladed lightsaber for his whole entire life and it gets severed in half and he instantly goes to using it as a single-bladed lightsaber and beats the same Jedi Knight in the same fight to this, and then say, oh, she can't use a staff when she puts this against her body to use a lightsaber. She cut herself in half. You can't. It doesn't work like that. Okay? That's why they showed this scene. Because they're showing her modifying her staff fighting to a single-bladed weapon. Are you an idiot? The answer is yes. Come on, man! Watch a damn Star Wars film! Or shut the fuck up! I've had it! You know who's a kid playing in the backyard? You. Because you don't understand jack shit about Star Wars. You have your own preconceived goddamn notions that are so stupid you can't see anything. You're so blinded by your own fucking head that you can't see what a brilliant Star Wars film The Last Jedi is. That yes, Rian Johnson understood perfectly what was going on. And again, Kylo Ren was not going for a kill when he sliced up Finn's back. He probably wanted Finn mostly alive so that he could take him back to the First Order to have him publicly executed, to show people what happens when you're disloyal. It's called common sense. Get some, you twat.
Who choreographed this film like a hot knife through?
Who choreographed this film? We're going to get into choreography here in a minute.
Disney. Which is it?
Now, again, depth of fucking cut. Perpendicular versus parallel. Learn math. I'm sick and fucking tired of these goddamn fans, and I use the term loosely because they're not really fans, okay? These fucktards that don't understand jack shit trying to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Okay? If you're cutting this way, wham. Now, go back and watch that. Because in the first part where she's using her staff, okay, she's twirling it all around, and then she comes over and she goes whoosh. There's a little teeny thing like this in the rock, and she goes whoop with her staff, okay? And then she pulls back and she stands there for a second. She's kind of looking at herself like, yeah, I get this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then she looks over at her backpack and she's like, hey. She sees the lightsaber hilt sitting in there. She's like, I wonder. So she picks it up, she turns it on, and she starts twirling it around because she's trying to get the motions of the lightsaber because she's so used to staff fighting. So she remembers because she was trying to keep the lightsaber out in front of her before because she didn't know how to use it that well and she didn't want to cut herself. So if you go back and watch the forest fight, the brilliancy of the choreography was that she kept the lightsaber in front of her where she could see it the whole fight. And yes, she was wild with it because she didn't really know how to use it. She didn't adapt it, and that's what this scene is showing, is that now she's starting to understand how to use it. And what happens is, because she's unfamiliar with how fast the blade can cut, is she goes and she cuts through the rock because she steps into the swing. My God, man, have you ever seen fight choreography? I almost think you've never seen fight choreography. Because we're going to get to that in the next episode. I know I've been running a little long with this one. Okay, so I think this is where we're going to stop for this episode. Because it's been running for about 40 minutes. And then I'm going to have about 16 minutes on that. So it's going to go almost an hour. But I felt like I needed to get some things off my chest. So we're going to come back to this point right here. Where she takes the staff and smacks him in the back of the head. Okay? So, this has been Russ's Movie Corner. Thank you for watching.